Let's talk about last night's fights. UFC on ABC número tres. That's three for you, Will, in
Yeah,
Spanish. And
that's three.
the
All you
main
Yair
event was
fans
Yair Rodriguez, yes, and Ortega fans,
and Ortega fans.
and Brian Ortega
Yeah, there you go.
facing off, which a lot of people thought Ortega versus Yair Rodriguez would be the number one title contender shot. Whoever wins this fight, either Ortega might get a rematch or Yair would get his shot at the title.
Yeah,
What do you think, though, Will?
going into it, I was kind of thinking Yair if he wins, title shot. Ortega if he wins, number one against Emmett, right? Because we just saw
Mm.
Ortega, not a very competitive fight outside of 30 seconds of it. So it's like, cool, do the Emmett fight with if Ortega wins, but if Yair wins, let's go Yair, title shot.
But the
Going
but
into
the most
this,
danger Volkanovski's ever been in, at least that I've seen.
yeah, Max dropped him, but yeah, probably because that it was tight. Uh, yeah, they both HLB versus they both look so sad for having to beat each other up. The amount
They
of
really do.
respect going into this fight between these two was very cool to see,
It is.
uh, especially from Yair, because Yair in the past has been like, remember when he poked Jeremy Stevens in the eye like 30 seconds into the fight, the main event, and then they have to call the fight, and he jumps on the cage like he just won, and it's like,
Yeah.
bro, what are we doing? He's had some antics, but I think he's matured a little bit, and this fight proved it going
He's getting
into it
there. He's getting there.
and the aftermath. Um, but going into it, I was like, man, this is a great matchup, classic striker versus grappler, right? I picked Yair. I thought Yair would be able to stay up on his feet and light up Ortega, and Ortega's wouldn't be able to take him down. Uh, I was right and wrong because Yair was lighting him up,
He was.
but Ortega was able to take him down.
He did. Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing that, man, I go back and I look at like Renato Moicano versus Brian Ortega, right?
Oh yeah.
And this is something that even DC pointed out, where like Ortega would do this thing where he reaches to measure distance, and like he'd get closer, almost like a mummy guard, right? But he'd
Yeah.
get closer and closer, and as soon as somebody would start swinging, he'd start showing up and rolling with the punches, showing a shoulder, and then he'd counter off that.
Hey, he showed
And
a
then
shoulder
at
in this one too.
yeah, sometime in the evolution of Ortega, he realized, hey, I could take some big shots,
Yeah. And then he
and
learned it again.
he
And then he
started
learned it
falling in
again.
love with his chin. And dude, I don't know what's going on, but some of that really good defensive boxing that Ortega was able to show when
Yeah.
he first started boxing, and I know that he's moved on and gone to different trainers, with the exception of Henry Gracie,
Henner. Yeah.
but it's not the same defensive movement. And now he's willing to
Mhm.
take a shot to give a shot. But when you have somebody as fast as Yair Rodriguez that could throw that 1-2 as quickly as he
Oh,
can,
man.
dude, he was eating some big shots right off the bat. You could tell that some of those really stunned him, because it was
Mhm.
classic Ortega, nonstop pressure coming forward. And on some of those, he had to stop and take a step back and then start coming forward again because he was stunned.
Yeah. And Yair, man, the first like 3 minutes of this fight, before the first clinch exchange, all I could think of is I need to see Yair versus Volkanovski, because Volkanovski, we talked about it with the step up lead leg kick, the step up inside leg kick, and he uses that to cover distance, all this stuff. Yair was landing it over and over again, the step up inside leg kick to land the two, similar to how like Dan Henderson did it, right? He would do that skip up with the inside leg kick, throw the H
Mhm.
bomb. It was like that, but instead of an overhand, he's throwing the cross, and it was working so well. And then he would finish his combos with the outside leg kick, and it was like turning Ortega's knee in, and then he was, I mean, the straight shots from him. I mean, fantastic performance up until, I mean, honestly, the whole way, Yair did a fantastic job, I thought.
This
But
was
the whole
the
time I was like,
confusing
I
part for
need
me.
to see Volk versus Yair. I need it.
Yeah, and this was the confusing part for me because I agree. I think Yair was picking him apart on the
Hmm.
feet, right? And yes, he was taken down. And Ortega can say that he wasn't threatened with submission at all, but it looked like he was close to an armbar there. And the reason that
Yeah.
Ortega had to yank his shoulder out the way he did, the arm out the way he did, is because he had to had a hold of that arm.
Yeah. So
Um,
what happened? So Ortega hit him with the hip toss, right? Kind of ended up in this position with the armbar. Um, the arm wasn't fully extended, but the arm was trapped. And even Brian said, like, he was tight on my shoulder, and
mhm.
so when he yanks it out, shoulder pops out, instantly just falls back. really cool on Yair to recognize, because instead of getting up and landing shots, he immediately got up and like put his hand on his side and was like checking on him to see if he was okay.
Yeah, that
Which
was super cool.
to switch from like kill or be killed mode to that is pretty crazy. Um, Maybe just
Drop
because
of a
it was
dime. I
first
think the
round.
only other person I've seen do that a lot is Lyoto Machida did that on a regular basis.
Machida did that a lot. Yeah,
But
shout out
wasn't
Lyoto.
expecting that from Rodriguez.
No, and it's probably the mutual respect between the two of them. But I don't know. They called this like a technical knockout due to injury, but like I feel like this could be like should be like a technical submission or something, because like if it weren't for the armbar attempt, the shoulder would have never popped out. You know, like this should,
Yeah,
in my opinion, should almost count as like a submission.
I've seen people online also talk about the fact that this should be a no contest. But the fact is that Yair Rodriguez had him in this position, had a hold of his arm,
Mhm.
put Ortega in a position where he had to try to yank out and cause the injury.
Yeah,
Yair caused the injury.
yeah, 100%.
This should be a technical knockout or a technical submission, however you want to say, but it's a win for Yair.
Yeah, yeah. It'd be one thing if Brian was like in the post fight interview, if he was like, "Yeah, I don't know, in the clinch exchanges, like I felt my shoulder was kind of weird, and then when I tried to yank it out, like it popped out." If that was the case, maybe it's a little different. But I mean, he was fine up until he was in the submission threat, and then
Yeah.
so I mean that's a
His
submission.
shoulder, his shoulder was like, "Hey man, we made it out," and his arm's like, "Hey bro, I'm still down here."
Yeah,
Like that was rough. That was very
yeah,
rough, and you could
that
see
was
it
rough.
too with that different camera angle when
Oh yeah,
it was facing Ortega, and you kind of just see a little thing like start bulging out right here. Yeah, it was
yeah,
rough.
dude, you could
And
hear it.
but Ortega, it really makes me think about his corner. It really does because he said afterwards, he's like, I was winning every second of that fight. I was beating him on the feet, and then I took him down, and that was the plan. So I don't know if he has a lot of yes men around him or yes
Well, I
people
mean,
around him. I hope not.
but that might
But
have been just in his head, though. I mean, they never went to the corner after, and like we don't know if they told him like, "Yeah, you were winning, you were winning." I mean, he might have just been like, "Yeah, I ate some shots, but like I landed some shots and I got the takedown." So
yeah,
you know,
maybe,
it's
maybe.
hard when you're in the moment like that. It's hard, man. You feel like you're winning. You're like getting tagged, and you're like, but I'm not hurt, and I'm landing my shots, and I feel good. So it's
Do you
like
feel
I'm
like he
winning.
landed any big shots?
He landed a couple counters for sure. I mean, he busted him open like in the first 45 seconds of the fight. You know,
Yeah,
granted,
that was a previous injury they were saying, right? Like he had
it's scar
a
tissue.
cut nothing. Yeah.
But
I don't know,
he
man. It
was
was
land.
rough.
I rewatched it like 10 minutes ago, and he definitely did land some shots.
Yeah.
But
Maybe the
nothing
more
like Yair.
significant shots, the most damage I think was given out by Yair.
Yeah, I mean they were actually even. Yair landed 23. T City landed 22.
Hmm. You know what? I'll go back and rewatch then, because like
I
I
mean
just
he wasn't
remember
winning.
Ortega's head snapping back a lot more. I definitely feel like the more significant shots were landed by Rodriguez.
100%. I mean Ortega landed a couple hooks as like counters and things like that, but Yair, I mean he was blasting his legs. The 1-2 was money. The front kick landed. The high kick landed. Like I mean, he was definitely winning that round, even with the takedown. Even if they finished with Ortega on top, I still would have given that round to Yair. But it was looking like it was going to be a fun fight.
Oh, dude, I think this one would have gone down as one of the classics for sure.
Yeah. Luckily,
But
we got a classic
the
earlier in
shoulder
the
had
card,
different.
but
Oh yeah, yeah. Um.
we got to
So with
eat our hats.
Yair, I said let's give Yair a title shot.
I think so.
I think he's earned it at this point.
Yeah. I mean,
I
honestly, I mean,
wasn't
he
the
was
biggest
winning.
fan going into the Holloway fight, and he earned a
Yeah.
lot of respect. When it was the Rodriguez versus Holloway, and the way that he showed up
Mhm.
there, he gave Holloway everything he could handle.
Dude,
Man,
that's a close fight.
it was a close,
Go-
close fight.
Going into the decision on that one, I was like, whoever gets it, they get it. I'm okay with
Yep.
either decision. And that's impressive.
And then I think that this was still a good showing for him. It didn't end the way that everybody would have wanted it to, but I think it was still a very good showing.
And also, for me, I mean, this is like a legit win to me. Like, yeah, he got injured, but like we said, I mean, he would not have gotten injured if he wasn't in an attack on the arm.
Yep, yep. And I know that Ortega is calling for
A
a
rematch.
rematch, but I think Yair said it perfectly. He said if they want to do this again, whatever the UFC wants to do, and he said whether we fight again first or
Mhm.
whether we fight again once I have the title.
Yeah.
which was a really good way to put it. Like, hey, we're going to face each other. I'm not saying it's going to be right away, but we're going to meet again,
Mhm.
which I thought was super cool.
It is cool. I think uh, Dana said that he's willing. He's not mad at it. Was the phrasing, I think, about an interim title. So it's like maybe they're going to do Yair versus Emmett for an interim belt because Volk is either talking about moving up, but now that they announced um, Makhachev versus Oliveira, we got to wait for that fight to finish, and then so it's like, but it also might just be because his hand is injured. He had to get surgery on his
Mm,
hand, right? He broke his thumb. But he did say that was his phrasing. I think I'm not mad at it. An interim belt. It's like, what the fuck are we doing with these interim belts?
yeah.
Like
Toss them
maybe
around.
we change the name from an interim belt and then we just make it a contender belt, and we just have each division has the number one contender who has a belt, and you vacate it when you go
When you
get your
fight for
title shot.
the.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Because
the way
dude,
it's trending.
they're just handing them out. It's crazy. Like Volk just defended his belt. I mean, we don't need an interim belt.
Yeah. No, I see what you're saying. But I also see on the business side, because people, when there's a title on the line, people tend to buy more pay-per-views,
Yeah, I guess.
So I don't know. All right, man. But that's all I got on that main event.
I mean, it was only 4 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know.
So what else do we have to cover?
Yeah.
We'll move on to the co-main event. The co-main event last night had Amanda Lemos versus Michelle Waterson Gomez.
Yeah, crazy seeing that now, right?
Yeah. Got to get used to it. Got to
It's a
get
little
used to it.
long.
But this is a nice
Uh,
matchup for Amanda Lemos.
yeah, real quick, Elijah Grant coming through saying, I think Josh Emmett deserves a title shot. I mean, yeah, you could definitely argue that. It's tough because, like, if Volk's going to be out so long because of the hand injury, uh, Emmett's kind of just waiting. Yair, I mean, they might do Emmett versus Yair for the interim belt. I would not be surprised, honestly. I don't know
I
how
wouldn't
long
be
it's
mad
going
at
to be
that.
for Volk.
And then Emmett, shout out by the way, Elijah Grant. Thanks for joining us, man. Make sure that
Yeah,
you follow if you don't already follow or subscribe. But when you take a look at Emmett, how long ago did he fight?
it was probably like what, a month ago.
Month ago, maybe. Some
Fought
recovery's already
Calvin
been
Cater.
in.
Hmm.
You have Yair that just came off a 4-minute fight, didn't take too much damage. We could probably
Yeah,
make something like this happen in the next couple months.
that's kind of what I think is going to happen. And then the winner of that will fight Volkanovski when he's back.
Yeah, why
And
not?
if anybody's like Volk's already cleared out the division, clearly not. We have Emmett and
Yeah,
Yair.
for
Like,
sure.
clearly
But
not.
yeah, Elijah, I see where he's coming from with Josh
Yeah,
Emmett. And you know who else agrees? Uriah Faber. He's like,
yeah.
dude,
He's
what
like,
does
come
my guy
on.
have to do to earn
Yeah,
the title shot?
actually beat Calvin Cater.
Oh, dude. Hey, everybody, Ramiro and Will here. Thank you so much for watching that short clip. It's just a small clip of what we covered this last Sunday.
Yeah, if you want to check out the full fight card recap, the link is in the description, and it's going to be on screen at the end here. Don't forget to go back and watch our fighter interviews that we have. And don't forget to tune in live every Sunday morning at 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. Eastern, and you can join in on the fun.
Yeah, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Goes a long way. All right, everybody, thanks for watching that short clip from Story of the Fight.